Quick update from the Hillside Garden. Now we're definitely getting into a drought period. We haven't had rain for a couple of weeks now. We've had temperatures pushing 40 centigrade, which is 100 Fahrenheit or whatever. It's like serious heat now. And no rain, although we're supposedly forecast some today. I won't believe it till I see it. Just see how the garden's quickly holding up. It's looking still very green here, where I've just let it run wild because nature just seems to be able to take care of itself better than we can. If I show you my annuals, then they're looking very sorry for themselves because they need babying, they need watering, they need fertilizer, they need everything. This just grows like crazy. And we were lucky to have so much rain at the beginning of this season that things are still looking very green. But let's have a quick wander around. Just to call in on my Three Sisters experiment. Okay, so this is what pumpkins do when it's hot. They start drooping. The yellowing leaves are a worry, and the lack of actual fruit so far is a worry. I'm almost certain that's just the poor quality of the soil, lack of fertilizer, because I just put this into literally the native soil, which is absolute trash, to be honest. And I did put a bit of compost there, but it's probably not enough to keep them going. So I'm going to look at maybe putting some sort of liquid feed on them. And I haven't got any ready though, so we'll see about that. The sweet corn there is coming along. Maybe it'll do something. And you can see the beans in there and the other squash. They're not looking terribly happy, but if we just got a bit more rain, I feel like it'll be good. Just have a quick zoom in here, see if we can see it's all male flowers at this point. Male flowers. So it's July. We really need these pumpkins to set fruit very soon. Though we have a long season, we can have pumpkins ripening until November even before the frost comes. So July, August, September, October, we've got 4 or 5 months, so we got time. But I hope they start soon, because I was hoping for a real bumper pumpkin harvest this year. Okay, this is the area I'm calling the food forest. Just check it out. Okay, so there's not much food in here at the moment, not for humans anyway, I will be honest. But I'm calling it the food forest because that's the plan for the future. But just look right now, there are things planted in here by me. There's an apricot. There's these that just popped up, which I'm pretty sure now, and according to some of the viewers as well, that is definitely Jerusalem artichokes, or what do you call it, sunchoke. So how they got in there, I don't know, but they're growing there, so that's some food. This is sea berry, which is looking really good. Can't remember if that's a female or a male, but as you can see, I've just let it run wild mostly. And there's just so many wildflowers. You've never had this many wildflowers. It just shows how the rain has really helped things. And we've got so many insects in here. It's fantastic. So many butterflies. I've seen some dragonflies, which are great predators. And all kinds of hoverflies. And of course the bees are coming in here. And there's another sea berry. You can barely see it. What do? Do I just mow all this down and try to promote the growth of the perennials that I planted? No, I think I want, nature to be growing its pioneers, its mulch providers, its nitrogen fixers. And, and I'll just keep an eye on my perennials, like this other sea berry here. Again, can't remember if that's the male one or the female. They might be labelled and they might not be. I'll find out one day. There are definitely males and females. And, I'll just keep things clear enough for them to grow and just let nature do its thing in the rest of this area. And there's things coming up. This I mean, this looks like a hornbeam or a beech or something. There's a little tree coming up there. In here somewhere, there should be a hazelnut, which I actually put in there. Oh, there it is. I mean, it's still alive, but you know, it's just got to fight its way through. You know, I'll give it a bit of a chance. I'll clear it a little bit so I can get up into the light. But you know, I'm not going to baby it. I'm going to let these other plants grow and do their thing, create the mulch, fix the nitrogen, whatever is their job. And certainly the clover that I planted is really working out. I've mowed this now. I've just mowed a path through here, but there's been loads of clover. So there's lots of nitrogen getting put back in the soil. And I've had to just, you know, mow a path through here because I didn't want this to be sort of actually accessible by humans, not just, you know, complete wilderness. But we've had so many things spring up. I mean, mostly these, what do we call them? I want to call them daisies. They're not daisies, are they? I can't remember now. Remind me what these things are called. These two. It's not chamomile either, I don't think. Anyway, and we've got this Queen Anne's lace type thing coming up. Crazy. I think these are all related to parsley. They're like wild parsleys, and I don't want to try it because some of them aren't really for human consumption, but they're all good. Look at the size of this one. It's huge. It's actually taller than me, and I'm like 185 meters, you know, 6'2" or something. So it's absolutely huge. And just so many, like I say, of these wildflowers, and they have, you know, crowded out some of the things I planted. And some of the things I planted I might not find until autumn, you know, and this all dies back. Honestly, I can't even remember where I planted now some of these. There was some, what you call them, honeyberries, hascaps, in there somewhere. I just can't find them now. They're completely grown over. But, you know, hopefully they'll fight their way through. I'll try to, you know, give them a fighting chance. And, you know, I've kind of cut a path through here as well, just so I can get through. But mostly I just wanted to see, you know, how wild this is, and yet, you know, it's beautiful as well, and it's functional. And, you know, this is kind of my idea of a garden. Again, I don't think my neighbours will agree. I'm always saying this, but I hope they'll come round to my way of thinking. I mean, this is great, the way the weed, in inverted commas, comes up through the branches of the apple tree, and hopefully, you know, some of the predators from the Queen Anne's lace will work on the apple, although absolutely zero apples this year. Don't know what happened. I think it was just the frost came at the worst time and killed all the blossom. No apple there, very few apples at all. But you know, I'm looking at the long term. You know, next year will probably be a bumper year. Let's hope so. The main thing is, we're creating something here which I think has long-term potential. You know, do I cut it down to the ground again? You know, I have to compare with what my neighbour does, because it's the way things are done around here. You know, do I mow it down like this so there's nothing growing at all? I don't see the benefit, you know, the long-term benefit. The long-term benefit I see in letting this grow wild, letting the species that want to spring up, and gradually, you know, anything that doesn't fit in, replacing it with something I do want, like this little pistachio, which I never thought would even leaf out this spring. So I'm definitely not gonna give up on that just now. And I've chopped and dropped some of this black locust around it to feed it. I'm going to keep doing that because this is getting pretty big now. I don't really want this getting out of hand because these black locusts grow very quickly and get very big. Black locust is my nitrogen fixer. It's my chop and drop plant, and that's his purpose. And I don't want it getting too out of hand. And yeah, the neighbours on this side have, obviously mowed, but they've sort of respectfully gone up to my boundary and sort of, left things. They kind of appreciate what I'm doing here. It's kind of hard to explain, but I think they get the idea, kind of. And it's my little pawpaw here, which doesn't get too much sun during the day, which we don't want in its early stages. And I'm really looking forward to getting pawpaws one day, but I think it's going to take a very long time. I mean, this, it's going to take 5 or 6 years, and I am slowly leaving spring chicken territory myself, and hopefully I'll get some pawpaws in my lifetime, or if not me, then my kids, or if not my kids, then my grandkids, or somebody else who takes over this place. So there it is. That's the situation in the Hillside Garden. So it's been very rainy, very wet, very fertile in the initial part of the year, and that's given a huge boost to all these weeds, native species, pioneers, whatever you want to call them. My perennials aren't doing so well. This is the only branch of this peach that's leafed out. See that? So there's definitely some failures. Like, I'm literally going to have to cut this peach right back to that branch next year and hope we get, something growing out of that. But all this growth has been so beneficial to our friends, the bumblebees, the honeybees, what the hell is that? Ooh, I don't know what that is, but I'm going to have a little look if I can. Ooh, you know what that is? That's a very important predator, and can I just focus on it? I can't remember its name. Rhinocytus something in Latin. It's a kind of assassin beetle. I think that's it, which is one of the rare creatures that will feed on stink bugs, which we have a huge problem with around here. So, growing all this stuff, growing this wild environment, hopefully will do something to suppress the population of stink bugs, which are invasive here, which destroy our annuals like tomatoes. And so this is what we're trying to do, get kind of balance of insects, not spray stuff, kill stuff, let them all grow. Wow, there's actually a few apples on this tree. This tree has been generally, although it produces the tastiest apples, which might be Cox, or what's the other one called, the reddish one? Forget now. But anyway, it's been very poor. But this year there's actually a few apples on there, which is unusual. And the main Jerusalem artichoke patch is doing really well. It might even flower, which is pretty rare around here, but they never usually get this big. And this persimmon as well, I'm actually really pleased with this. This is really growing far better than I expected, certainly far better than the last specimen I tried to grow. And this all around here is the comfrey that I planted a few videos back, which you might remember. It's all sort of shooting up to seed now, which I would expect in this climate. We can't really get it to grow, for a long period over the summer. It'd be nice to get more leaves, but it just doesn't really. It just wants to go to seed in this heat. And is that St. John's wort? No, it might be St. John's wort. I'll have to just check, because there's another flower that looks a lot like it. But whatever it is, I'm really happy. Look at those little purple ones as well. Just really happy to have so much growing, even though most of it's not food. I'm planning to gradually, replace the chaos with food varieties. I may finally have a source for wood chips. Start wood chipping round the trees, suppressing some of the weeds, putting in maybe black currants or more sea berries and other support species like those around the trees, and gradually getting a little bit of order into this garden. But for now, I'm quite happy with this, and it'd be nice to get some rain, but as I say, this is one of the better years we've had in the Hillside Garden as regards rain, even if not as regards food, although we will have probably plenty of grapes. Those have been affected, a lot of these have been affected by fungus because of the rain, but we'll get some, we'll get plenty. And also, strangely, we've got quince. The quince never fails. Can't understand it, but it never fails. And this one as well, I've got quince on it. So, you win some, you lose some. But I'm really enjoying just watching the garden in such full growth, and hope you have too. And let me know how your garden's getting on and how your food forest's getting on, and see you next time.